What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back on NHL 21 and we'll be doing another career simulation, this time on Cole Perfetti. Perfetti was taken 10th overall by the Winnipeg Jets in this year's NHL entry draft and is expected to be a huge offensive threat in the NHL one day. In his last two seasons in the OHL with the Saginaw Spirit, he put up 74 goals and 111 assists for 185 points in just 124 games. For me personally, I know he didn't go as high as guys like Stützle or Lucas Raymond, but he's honestly probably the player I am looking forward to seeing the most out of this draft class besides Alexis Lafreniere. Once again, Perfetti is still just 18 years old as of the time I am recording this and will be representing Team Canada at the World Juniors in just a few weeks. Basically, you get the point by now. This kid is an absolute beast wherever he seems to play right now, and with that, today we will be simming his career here on NHL 21 and seeing how EA thinks it will play out. Like always, we will be simulating year by year and checking in on his stats as well as if he wins any awards. I will be controlling a different team other than Winnipeg and having it so that the CPU controls everything, so the entire sim will be completely computer automated. Now let's get into the simulation. So in this universe, the Jets decide to assign Perfetti back to the OHL to polish his game up a little bit more. In the season he spends back with the Saginaw Spirit, the Jets do go on to make the playoffs, but fall to Chicago in the first round. The Washington Capitals do take home the Stanley Cup, and Alexis Lafreniere wins the Calder Trophy. At the beginning of the next season, Cole Perfetti is up to a 76 overall, but once again isn't looked at as NHL ready, and will once again spend the year with Saginaw. This NHL season sees the Jets losing all the way in the Stanley Cup Finals to the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Tim Stützle ends up taking home the Calder Trophy. At the beginning of the next season, Perfetti jumps up to an 80 overall, but the Jets assign him to the Manitoba Moose, so I'm assuming after this year, finally we will be able to see Perfetti in the NHL. So in this season, the 2022-2023 one, the Jets missed the playoffs altogether after going to the finals. The St. Louis Blues do take home the Stanley Cup, and Mason Shaw of the Minnesota Wild wins the Calder. Finally, Cole Perfetti does make the Winnipeg Jets lineup at the beginning of the 2023-2024 season. Perfetti is going to be starting off at center on the second line, playing between Blake Wheeler and Christian Vesalainen. He is at 83 overall with medium elite potential. His stats to start off are very solid, including 90 offensive awareness, 90 puck control, and 89 deking. Not bad at all, and now let's see if it is enough to get Winnipeg back to the playoffs and possibly win himself the Calder Trophy for being the Rookie of the Year. The Winnipeg Jets end up having a huge bounce back season in year number 1 with Cole Perfetti that sees them finish at 4th in the entire NHL. In the playoffs, they made their way to the conference finals where they were eliminated by the eventual Stanley Cup champions, the Arizona Coyotes, in 6 games. Cole Perfetti's rookie year was a very good one as he scored 16 goals and 46 assists for 62 points in the regular season. The playoffs were also very solid and saw him with 5 goals and 8 assists for 13 points. He does not win the Calder Trophy as that goes to Zykov of the San Jose Sharks, and Perfetti jumps up all the way to an 86 overall. The Jets have an even better season in year number 2 and end up winning the President's Trophy as the league's best team. In the playoffs, they don't make it too far, sadly, and are taken out in the second round in 6 games to the St. Louis Blues. Cole Perfetti's sophomore season saw him miss 15 games due to injury, and in the 67 he did play in, he scored 20 goals and 37 assists for 57 points. In the playoffs, he was over a point per game with 13 points in 10 games and increased up to an 87 overall. Also, this was the last year of his entry-level deal, and in the offseason he signed a 5-year deal with the Winnipeg Jets worth $7.4 million per year. For the second straight year, the Winnipeg Jets win the President's Trophy, and for the second straight year, they do go on to lose to the St. Louis Blues in the second round. Cole Perfetti stayed healthy for the most part this season and put up 26 goals and 50 assists for 76 regular season points, and in the playoffs had 4 goals and 9 assists for 13 points. With all this, he increases up to an 88 overall. For the 4th straight season, the Winnipeg Jets make the playoffs, this time after finishing 2nd in the league. Playoffs were a disaster though, as they were upset by the Dallas Stars in just 5 games in the first round. Cole Perfetti had himself a huge season, scoring 28 goals and 66 assists for 90 points in the regular season. He had a goal and 3 assists for 4 points in the playoffs and jumps up to a 90 overall. The regular season success continues for the Winnipeg Jets as they finish 7th in the NHL, but once again come playoff time can't seem to figure it out as the Stars send them packing in the first round for the second straight year. Perfetti once again had a good season as he put up 23 goals and 62 assists for 85 points, and in the playoffs had 7 points in 5 games. Despite all this, he decreases to an 89 overall. The Jets fall off a bit in the league standings as they fall to 12th in the NHL, but come playoff time, they finally turn things around and go on a nice run. They make it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, but lose to the Blue Jackets in 6 games. Cole Perfetti was a point per game player this season as he had 19 goals and 63 assists for 82 points. In the playoffs, he went off scoring 6 goals and 18 assists for 24 points in 23 games. He remains at 89 overall as he heads into the final year of his current deal. For the 7th straight season, the Winnipeg Jets are in the playoffs, this time after finishing 10th in the NHL, and for the 3rd time in this video, they are taken out by the Dallas Stars in the first round, this time in 5 games. Cole Perfetti in the last year of his current deal had his best season yet with 29 goals and 66 assists for 95 points. In the playoffs, he added a goal and 5 assists for 6 points and increased back up to a 90 overall. In the offseason, he decides to move on from Winnipeg and signs an enormous 7-year deal with the Arizona Coyotes worth $13.6 million per year. The decision to sign with the Arizona Coyotes doesn't seem like the best one as they finished second to last in the NHL. Cole Perfetti in this down year for the Yotes scored 18 goals and 55 assists for 73 points on the year and drops to an 88 overall. The Coyotes again are in the basement of the NHL, and this time they finished all the way in dead last in the league. Cole Perfetti led the god-awful Coyotes in scoring this season with 21 goals and 55 assists for 76 points on the year and stays put at 88 overall. The Coyotes made basically zero progress here in year 10 and finished 29th in the league. Cole Perfetti had a decent season considering the garbage team he's on and put up 21 goals and 47 assists for 68 points on the year. Once again, he remains at 88 overall. So 10 years into his career now, Cole Perfetti has played in 877 NHL games, scored 232 goals and 561 assists for 793 career points so far. He has yet to win any awards so far, and the closest he has come to a Stanley Cup was with the Winnipeg Jets when they were just 2 wins away versus Columbus. I'm not gonna lie, his career seemed very bright until he signed with the Yotes, who have been absolutely terrible. Hopefully things turn around soon because these past few seasons have been brutal. Also, after doing the math, Perfetti did play a full NHL season before year number 1 with the Jets, where he had 11 goals and 14 assists for 25 points, and I totally missed it. Sorry about that. Anyway, once again, hopefully things get better soon as we head into the second half of his career. Four years with the Coyotes, 4 years of Perfetti's prime being wasted as the Coyotes once again finished dead last in the entire NHL. With this, we see Cole Perfetti have his worst season yet with 26 goals and 30 assists for 56 points. He was a minus 32 and drops to an 87 overall. It wasn't easy, but finally in his 5th season with the Arizona Coyotes, they barely get into the playoffs after finishing 20th in the NHL. In the playoffs, they don't last long as the Canucks deal with them in just 6 games. Perfetti's regular season saw him put up 14 goals and 50 assists for 64 points, and in the playoffs put up 5 assists. Cole Perfetti once again remains at 87 overall. For the 2nd straight season, the Arizona Coyotes once again finished 20th in the league, but this time it was not enough to get to the postseason. Perfetti missed some time this season due to injury, which may have affected the Coyotes missing the playoffs, and in the 73 games he played in, he scored 19 goals and 48 assists for 67 points. Perfetti decreases in overall once again and drops to an 86 heading into the final year of his current deal. The Coyotes in the final year of Perfetti's contract again missed the playoffs after finishing 22nd in the NHL, and hopefully these awful years with the team will lead to him moving on from the team in the offseason. Speaking of Perfetti, the 35-year-old put up 22 goals and 44 assists for 66 points on the year. He remains at 86 overall, and in the offseason signs a 1-year, $7 million deal with the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers are a complete 180 from the Arizona Coyotes, as in their first year with Cole Perfetti, he helps the team finish 2nd in the NHL and make the playoffs. In them, they win in the first round, but get swept in the Battle of Alberta by the Calgary Flames. Cole Perfetti has a huge bounce-back season, scoring 22 goals and 69 assists for 91 points, and in the playoffs led the way with 13 points. He jumps back up to an 89 overall and re-signs with the Oilers on a 2-year deal worth $9.5 million per year. Edmonton has an enormous season, finishing 1st in the entire NHL and go on to last just 5 games in the playoffs. 37-year-old Cole Perfetti had his best season of his career, scoring 27 goals and 73 assists for 100 points, and in the whopping 5-game playoff run he had 3 points and drops down to an 88 overall. The Oilers' dominance continues in year number 17 as they win their division and the conference, but once again can't get out of the first round as the Knights take them out in 7 games. Cole Perfetti has another good season, scoring 18 goals and 61 assists for 79 points, and in the playoffs had 2 goals and 6 assists for 8 points. He drops down to an 84 overall and decides to call it a career and retire. So in 1,429 NHL games with the Jets, Coyotes, and Oilers, Cole Perfetti scored 380 goals and 936 assists for 1,316 points. Sadly, he did not win any cups or even a personal award, which genuinely shocked me. Perfetti was an elite offensive talent who sadly wasted 7 years of his career in Arizona. Honestly, if he stayed with the Winnipeg Jets or went to a different team, I think this video definitely would have potentially been the best career sim yet. Anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know who you guys would like to see next, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.